At Adventure Space Academy, I am the payload officer. So my job is I make the payload, which is another word for the things that are going up in the balloon, which are our little astronaut guys, and the cameras and the box. So I had to pack it all up, tape it together, and then attach it to the balloon. We got the payload all set up and attached to the parachute and the balloon. So then when it goes up, when the balloon pops, it'll come down with the parachute. So it'll be slower and it won't fall down really fast and then destroy all the cameras and everything. Celeste's job is the recovery officer. So she's in charge of decorating the box with like bright colored tape, and she's in charge of tracking, which means she'll take like the iPad and she'll like track the exact place where the balloon landed. Launch officer, and that means when we get to our launch spot, we need to, well, I'm like the boss of like, hey, we need some helium over here to what the launch officer is. It's like when we get to our launch spot, like I'm the boss of making sure nothing gets messed up, making sure we have all the stuff before we go. We weighed all the stuff, we laid everything out, make sure we had it. We watched a video on how that's kind of going to work. And we have a little computer and it's attached to our GPS that we're sending to space. And the GPS, it can download approximately maybe what's going to happen if the wind's the same. So we checked Mooseman. It was Claire's suggestion. We checked Mooseman, and it said maybe it would land near the house. So we are now at Mission Control. We are now in Show Lake, and we drove about an hour and a half to get down to Mooseman, which is right here. And we launched right where that little green thing is. And as you can see, it like started coming up in northeast up there, and we think it's coming down now. We're about an hour and a half into the flight. And recovery officer, what they do is they make sure like they put bright shiny tape on it, visibility, parachute, and tracking. So they take like a little iPad and say, okay, we go left now. Right. Okay, another left. And it should be just straight ahead. And then traffic.
Where do you think it's going to land?
I think maybe a field, because that's probably the most common. Or maybe a forest, because a town probably wouldn't be at that exact spot. Since it's going up, and pop away from the house, because it's going up slower, then it's probably going to land further away. It's going to be like a few hour drive. Next we put like a Lego astronaut on a stick with a Canada flag, and it's going to be taping that in the background of space at the same time. So we named it Roberta because of my teacher. Her name is Miss Roberta.
It was in a field full of tall grass, and then we were walking around, and Dad said he would go in the tall grass, and then he said, woohoo! And then we were like, what? Did you find it? And he was like, yeah. And then we found it. And we're tired now.
Hi, Molly.
We saw that he lost his helmet lens and his flag.
Oh.
And then Manuk Danielle found the flag right where he was standing.